You are listening to the #1 top business show in all of the Villes. I mean, from Statesville all the way to Huntersville. We have interviewed over 755 small business owners and have probably over 375 videos online that you can go to at localbiz.com. And Paul, my friend, you've been on this show 3 or 4 times. This is the first time you've been a co-host. Am I correct?
I'm looking for your job, Joe.
You got it, buddy. And so why don't you introduce our next guest, my friend, because you should kind of know him a little bit.
I do. Thank you very much. And today our guest is Todd Horsfall, the area developer, master franchise of the Jantize Charlotte Metro. And the Charlotte Metro consists of a good 5-county territory. I think it goes from Mooresville to Statesville to...
He's got all the Villes.
He's got all the Villes.
I got you.
We got a bunch.
Todd, we've met a few times at different events in the area and that sort of stuff. Thank you so much for coming in this morning.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So, Todd, talk a little bit about Jantize America and define what it is your role is for them. Paul, has about 162 things he's constantly selling, right? So define for me exactly what it is your role is.
I've bought about 100 of them. No, well, I am the Charlotte area developer here in Charlotte. We joined Jantize in 2013. Just, I guess, a little bit about me. I was in the car business for 17 years. And if anybody knows anything about the car business, you get in at 8 and leave at 10. Kiss your kids in the morning and put them to bed at night, or kiss them at night. So I was looking for an opportunity, and the income was great, but I had no family life. And as the kids were growing, I didn't want to miss all the dance recitals and all the baseball, games. So I was looking for something, and happened to know Paul. We played a few rounds of golf here and there, and found out what he did, and we looked into it. It was a great opportunity.
Yeah, a lot of times back there too, we were, I think our kids were like in T-ball, or it was before Little League, and I'd always ask your wife, Julie, "Hey, where's Todd?" "Oh, he's working." "Where's Todd?" "He's working." He's working. "Hey, where's Todd?" "Not at church. He's working." So there was almost never I knew some of your family more than I knew you, matter of fact.
Right.
So Todd, talk a little bit about, so is this your first step into being self-employed?
Yes, for sure. It's definitely a game changer. I was always, working for someone else, making all the money for someone else. But I always had that desire to own my own business, to do something for myself, but didn't know how to start, didn't know where to, begin. We were looking at different types of models. We were looking at brick and mortar, a yogurt shop, or, I love sports, so some kind of a sports T-shirt shop or anything like that. But then when you see what goes into the costs and the startup, the brick and mortar, and all the inventory, and Jantize, just you don't have to have all that.
Well, a little bird just whispered in my ear, Todd, you were a business owner way back when. You didn't know. But little Toddy Horsfall delivered the Philadelphia Times. Tell us about that, the little Philadelphia Times, and how many newspapers you delivered each day.
Yeah, we did. 10 years old. A lady drove down our street handing out flyers. They needed back then, we did ride our bikes with the bags on the, and I was actually too young. I was only 10 years old. They weren't hiring 10-year-old children, but I got her, and she came back to my house, sat in with my parents, and I was like, I want to do it. And they're like, well, if he wants to do it, he'll probably do it. So, we got up every day for the next 3 years till we moved out of the area.
And what you're really describing as being a self-starter, and that really is sort of the core to the people that I meet, right? Yeah. I think what makes you so good at what you do is that your background is exactly why you want to help the people that work with you. Talk a little bit about that, because you are at the front lines of providing that service that Paul talked about.
Well, I have to be honest. When I started and I joined Jantize America, I didn't understand really what the concept or what, bringing in unit franchise would really mean. But what it's turned into is a great way to mentor, to help, to grow small business owners that don't know where to go and don't know how to start a business. And we've we've helped several small business owners come from full-time jobs to where they wanted to start their own business and it become a full-time business. So we've started people, they left their job and now they're running a big franchise for me here in Charlotte.
Yeah, and I see that all the time, Todd. I just love that. I just love that about the industry, and I love that about you two guys, that you're able to help people get in business who otherwise would never have the knowledge or opportunity to do that. Let's take a break, and we'll come back and we'll talk some more.
Great.
And we are back. You are listening to Local Biz Now. I am Joe Vagnone, and I am here with Paul Dorsey, the franchisor extraordinaire, and also Todd, the Jantize America area developer. Todd, thank you so much for being here, buddy. I really do appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
So, Paul, thanks for bringing Todd. I really do enjoy speaking with people that do what Todd does, which is take people under his wing and teach them how to be small business people. Is that a fair statement, Todd?
Definitely. I mean, definitely. Our role really, like Paul's already stated, is that we're taking all those things that small business owners don't know about or don't want to know about, all the billing, collecting, marketing, the insurance, all the stuff that takes away from what you're really wanting to do and what you're good at. We take that. And so we're just a great resource, a great partnership, with that small business owner.
But Todd, the other thing you do so well that I was trying to explain to Paul, and he wanted to argue with me, you understand, is that most small business people have to sell their product or service before they can start to operate the business. You take that away from them. You do that for them. Talk about that, because that is a rare treat, because most technical small business people want to do the job of the business, but they don't want to do the selling of it. So talk about that.
Well, that's what our role is. I mean, we're here to grow their business. I mean, that's why they join Jantize, is that we're here to whatever they want to grow it to. That's our partnership, to say, hey, I only want a couple thousand a month, or I want to be as big as we possibly can be, up to $50,000, $60,000 a month. We'll help them get there.
How do you make that guarantee that you're going to help me get to the number I want to get to? It can't be that easy to knock on the door of an office building and say, hey, I got a franchisee ready to clean it. Is it that easy?
No, it's not necessarily.
Paul
it
said,
is.
are you kidding me?
Well, to that
knocking
level,
that door once or knocking the door 101 times, Joe. So again, there's an art to the salesmanship.
Right,
It's 101 knocks.
The benefit is that we do have processes in place, just like why I joined Jantize and didn't try to start up something, is the processes were already in place for me, so I could follow step by step the procedures, the things we need to do. We have the telemarketers, we have outside lead sources, we have salespeople, all doing those things to where we can generate the business for our franchise owners. So, no, a lot goes into it, a lot of time, effort, money, and that's why we can guarantee, our franchise owners the business.
Right. So why did you end up in this franchise? You had a lot to choose from. You talked a little bit about you wanted to get away from brick and mortar, but there were plenty of other franchises out there that aren't brick and mortar. Why'd you choose this one?
Paul's a great salesman.
If that wasn't one of your things, I was going to add it. So.
No, I'll tell you, in the car business, we have a great month, sell 200-300 cars. Everybody's jumping up and down. And then day one, February ends, March 1st comes.
You're only as good as the last sale.
And we're at zero again. And what Paul explained to me is, hey, we got this thing called residual income. And I'd heard a little bit about residual income, but until we really broke it down and have the different streams of income. But, hey, we sell a contract, and that's a 12 to 5-year contract, depending on what facilities we're at, and that's a continual growth. Hey, every month that's coming in. And I was like, oh, it doesn't start over? And so you just continue to grow, add to where you're having a massive residual income come in every month. And it's also security, peace of mind. I don't have to sell 100 yogurt cups today to be successful. I don't have to sell the T-shirt today if I don't have a customer, bad weather, whatever. That was a huge benefit when I joined Jantize. That was a big part of it.
Right. Can you don't have to be specific, but kind of walk me through how the pricing of a franchise work, because it is kind of unique. I get to pick and choose how big I want to be. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, we have packages anywhere from a $2,900 all the way up to like a $20,000 package. And really, it's just whatever level that the franchise or the small business owner wants to join in, and then we just guarantee them a certain amount of business, from $1,000 to $10,000 a month in business. So, and it really doesn't matter if you want to come in at the low level or the entry package, that's great, and we can grow your business still as large as you want it to be.
One of the things I like about franchising is there's a lot of people like you, Todd, out there across the country, right? And you get a chance to pick up the phone and talk with them and ask them questions about how they're running their businesses and their challenges and that sort of stuff. Do you do that often? Is it something that you have conversation with them often?
Yeah, we're in constant conversation to see, hey, what are your goals? Where do you want to be? Where do you want to be in 5 years? Do you want to have this as your main income? Do you only want to have this as a small, extra added income? And we work with all types. So we all comers, we love to help anybody.
So we've only got about a minute. What advice would you give somebody thinking about buying a franchise out there? Don't look to Paul because he's going to tell you to buy a Jantize, right? So, but in general, right, what is that advice you would give somebody thinking about buying a franchise?
Well, the biggest thing is do your research. Maybe find something that you do love because it is a business. You are working for yourself, but take the step. I mean, I talk to so many people that are afraid just to take that initial step and just get the information, do the research, but you got to take the step. I mean, you really do to whatever
Paul,
you want.
we've got about a minute. Paul, what do you want to say to that person that's thinking about starting a franchise?
That's a quick thought, Joe, and that goes back to the mission or the commission. And I know you're just pulling my leg because I don't care whether they buy a Jantize franchise or a Subway franchise, but I care about that individual who needs to make that leap of faith on whatever it is. You might have a guy looking at the brick and mortar business that you're selling right now. You got to jump in. You got to go because tomorrow it might not be there. You might not have the opportunity.
You're absolutely right. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate that. So we're going to have Franchise Friday all month with Paul Dorsey. Todd, thank you so much, my friend. I
Thanks
really do
for having
appreciate
me.
it.
Appreciate it.
You are listening to Local Biz Now. I am Joe Vagnone. If it's Friday morning, say it, Paul. Say it. Say
Franchise Friday.
And your business matters.